guys, it's Carly. Welcome back to my channel, or hello if you're new here, and welcome to today's video. We are doing a full reset routine, not only for June, but also really mid-year, thinking about my goals that I set at the start of the year, how I'm progressing in them, and then looking forward to the second half of the year. I've got organization, planning, cleaning, and my usual monthly book reviews and TBR coming up for you. So if that is something you're keen to see, grab yourself a cuppa and let's get into the video. I'm just waiting for my next load of washing to be done so I can hang that out on the line. I haven't quite finished cleaning the house yet. I still need to finalize the vacuuming, including vacuuming the mattress, which I put the bicarb on this morning, and then also make the bed and do the mopping. But at the moment I've got the vacuum on charge, so we're kind of at a standstill. So while I'm waiting for those things to happen, I'm going to do my planning segment. So I'm going to fill in any appointments in my diary and also schedule in some filming. I have some fun videos coming up for you guys in June, so make sure that you stay tuned. And then I'm also going to do my laptop background as well. And instead of doing a sort of monthly one like I typically do, I'm going to show you some changes and some updates that I've made, and I'm going to instead do a bit more of a vision board for the rest of 2023. So as you can see, here is my May background and goals, and I have actually achieved all of the goals I set for myself last month. I have done some schoolwork for the next topic. I have booked accommodation for our road trip that hopefully will be going ahead, fingers crossed. Set up Notion, which I'll take you guys on a quick tour of, and that's where I've also put my YouTube earnings little spreadsheet, etc. And I have saved $1,000. In fact, I've saved a little bit over $1,000, so I'm pretty happy with myself there. And then this is my vision board for the second half of the year. It is a cozy and soft amalgamation of beauty, skincare, wellness, gardening, home and decor, and obviously you can tell from two of the bigger pictures there, starting a family is high on my agenda as well. And then here is a quick little tour of my Notion. I did get all of these pages as a free template, so I'm very excited about that. This is my home page and it just has links to other pages, my country loving playlist, which I absolutely love, and then as well as my May goals. So I'm going to swap these out now and change them to my June goals. And then on this YouTube page, I'm just going to be putting down my to-dos, and then I'm also going to be brainstorming some video ideas. I have sort of been taking my time to go through each page and try and add my own pictures and move things around so it suits me a little bit better as opposed to what was already on the template. I've got my YouTube finances, house finances, and then self just relates to some little affirmations. This was the vision board it came with. I'm going to obviously switch that out for the vision board that I just made then. And then I also have this 2023 planner, which just has kind of my weekly routine as well as my general year goals as well. And then I've also got, I don't have anything on travel plans, but on weekly reset, I'm just giving some ideas for how to reset your space, health, mental and emotional reset. It is time for my favorite segment, and that is the book portion of the monthly reset video. However, before we get into that, I do want to do a little bit of an update on my upload schedule. So I've been making YouTube videos for a smidge over 5 years now. It's gone by so fast. And initially I was just putting out one video a week every Saturday, and then when COVID hit, I capitalized on the fact that more people were watching YouTube and I had a little bit more free time, being that I had a bit more of a flexible schedule, to start uploading 2 videos a week, Wednesdays and Saturdays. And since then I have maintained that 2 video a week upload schedule. However, in March, when I was preparing for my wedding and honeymoon, things just got a little bit overwhelming. I wasn't able to keep on top of that, and I think there were maybe like 2 weeks where I was just doing 1 video a week. And then I got back into the swing of things in April, but I'm back at a point where I think I need to reevaluate things, and what I've realized is, yes, I have the potential at the moment to be putting out 2 videos a week, but I'm not necessarily as in front as I would like to be. And what that means is that every single weekend I'm having to film and edit, and yes, I absolutely love it. It's such a passion and a hobby of mine, but when I'm working 5 days a week, driving an hour and a half a day, and then coming home on the weekends, I've still got all of my regular chores to do. I'm wanting to spend time with family, but I also need to strategically fit YouTube and editing into that schedule as well. It was just becoming a little bit too jam-packed and a little bit too overwhelming, and I don't want it to be that. I want it to be fun, because when it continues to be fun, then I continue to get passion and joy out of it rather than it being something that I need to do. So I've made the strategic decision that as of June, probably for the rest of the year, I'm not going to put like a time limit on it necessarily. I'm going to be uploading 1 video per week, and I'm going to be changing my upload day from Wednesday and Saturday to Sunday at 6 o'clock. So every Sunday, 6 p.m. Australian Eastern Time, there'll be a new video going live. My cleaning videos seem to continue to be quite popular, so I will continue to put out a cleaning video probably once every fortnight, and then on the opposite weeks I'll be doing something else, whether that is a reset routine, a staycation vlog, another routine, or something else. If you do have any video suggestions, make sure you leave them down in the comments. But that's kind of my feeling for the moment, that I think will help me to create a better sense of balance. And I've also been finding myself in a little bit of a rut where I haven't had the ideas coming to me. I haven't been feeling inspired to make content. Yeah, so hopefully this will be just that little bit of balance and renewal and reset that I need to make sure that I'm continuing to put out fun, inspiring, and helpful content for you guys. So I'm sorry that I'm dropping down to one video, but I hope you can understand and continue to follow along. Having said all of that, it is now time to talk about my May lineup, and I've got to say, overall, I was really disappointed in my May books. In fact, there were even a couple that I decided not to finish off strategically because I just felt like I was kind of wasting my time on them and I wasn't really enjoying them. So let's first of all talk about two that carried over from April. First of all, I've got Grace Laced by Ruth Chow Simmons. I did end up finishing that off in May and I ended up really liking it. It was probably one of the only books that I did really like, and I put this as a 4 out of 5. I love Ruth Chow Simmons books, so I knew that this was going to be a good one for me. And then another one that was a carryover from April was A Summer at Sea. I wasn't really getting into it in April and I needed to carry it into the next month to try and finish it off, and I am sad to say I did not end up finishing it off. I did continue reading it in May, however, it just wasn't doing it for me. I still could not get into this book. And the really sad thing is I feel like the premise of this book is great, and particularly appeals to kind of my niche, if you will, of cozy vibes. It's about a lady who's a midwife and she needs a break from her job, so she goes on a little bit of a working holiday for a friend, working as a chef on a cute tugboat, and it's all set in the Scottish sort of highlands and river system or whatever. So we've got a lot of cute scenery, there's a romance element, there's lots of cozy elements. So theoretically you would think that I liked it, but it wasn't exciting, it wasn't captivating, I wasn't interested in the characters, they weren't very compelling. Even the love story was quite bland, so I ended up rating this one a 2.5 out of 5, and it's definitely going to be one of the ones I donate. I actually did end up picking it up from the thrift shop, so thankfully it didn't cost me a lot of money, maybe only a couple of bucks, but it will return back there. Now moving on to some of the books that I selected for May. The first one was Lessons by Giselle Bundchen, and this was another one that I picked up from the thrift shop, and I'm sad to say it will also be returning there. This is another book that sadly I just could not finish. I feel like it was a little bit more interesting than A Summer at Sea. Each chapter was kind of a lesson that she'd learned, and she goes through personal anecdotes and stories of how she arrived at that lesson, but I just felt that it just wasn't for me. I don't know what else to say about it. Giselle Bundchen is clearly a very inspiring person. I am not personally too interested in her life, and that's maybe why I wasn't drawn into the story so much, because I don't really have any sort of direct interest with her or connection with her. So yeah, this one did not get finished. I gave it a 3 out of 5 because I think it was slightly better than A Summer at Sea, but only slightly. Now we are on to a non-fiction. It is Without Merit by Colleen Hoover, and I have read some really great Colleen Hoover books. I loved All Your Perfects. I loved It Ends With Us. They're definitely, maybe 4.5 out of 5-star ratings for me. This one just did not do it for me. I just felt like the characters weren't as interesting, if you will. The main character was kind of a little bit annoying. The storyline was a little bit more teenager-esque as opposed to, myself as a bit more of a mature reader. So I did rate this a 3.5 out of 5, so a little bit better than Lessons. I did manage to finish it, but certainly not a Colleen Hoover recommendation from me. And then my final book for May is Love and Other Puzzles, and I'm kind of going to put it in the same category as Without Merit. It really didn't do it for me. I did end up finishing this book. It had some interesting moments in the storyline, but for the most part, it was kind of a little bit bland and the characters were a bit lacking. So it just didn't really draw me in. So I'm going to rate it the same at a 3.5 out of 5. Now, I was actually so annoyed with my book choices for May that I decided to go in the complete opposite direction for June. I feel like for May, I was going a little bit more drama-esque, cutesy, soft romance, and this time I needed to have like a thriller or like a crime kind of element to just draw me in and take it up a notch. So my theme is white books, I guess, if we're going with a theme. I picked all the white covers, and my non-fiction for the month is When the Body Says No, The Cost of Hidden Stress, and it's by Gabor Mate. Not sure if I pronounced that name correctly, but it draws on deep scientific research to provide answers to critical questions about the mind-body link and the role that stress and our emotional makeup play in an array of common diseases such as arthritis, cancer, diabetes, heart disease, irritable bowel syndrome, and multiple sclerosis, with dozens of case studies and stories. And it shares the 7 A's of healing, the principles for healing, and the prevention of illness from hidden stress. So I feel like I probably should have read this maybe 5 years ago, but better late than never. And then I'm kind of getting into the young adult realm. My next one is 5 Girls Lied, 5 Girls Died, The Cheerleaders by Cara Thomas. And it says on the back, there are no more cheerleaders in the town of Sunnybrook, not since 5 girls on the squad died in one terrible summer 5 years ago. Monica's sister Jennifer was the last to die, and Monica is sure there's more to her sister's death than anyone will admit. But whatever happened, that summer isn't over, and as secrets emerge and lies start to unravel, Monica finds herself at the center of it all. Now she's going to get answers whether she wants them or not. Sounds very much Pretty Little Liars-esque. Definitely up my alley, and also kind of similar vibes to The Cousins. Secrets, Lies, Inheritance, Family First Always, right? By Karen M. McManus. And she's the author of One of Us is Lying. So I feel like I've kind of got a similar vibe going on here. And it says on the back, the story family are the envy of their neighbors, rich, beautiful, and glamorous, until it all falls apart. The 4 children are suddenly dropped by their mother, and it's with a single sentence, you know what you did. They never hear from her again. Years later, when cousins Aubrey, Millie, and Jonah Story receive a mysterious invitation to spend the summer at their grandmother's resort, they have no choice but to follow their curiosity and meet the woman who's been such an enigma their entire lives. The teenagers are determined to discover the truth, but some secrets are better left alone. So we've definitely got an element of crime, thriller, mystery going on there. And to kind of fit in with that theme, I've got Sydney Sheldon's The Sky is Falling. I love books by Sydney Sheldon. They're always like very thriller-esque, but there's a romance element to them. And this one says, a spellbinding novel of glamour, sex, power, and murder that spans the globe. So I'm keen to give this one a read. It was a thrift shop find, so I always love that I can pick up Sydney Sheldon books at the thrift shop for a couple of bucks, and there are so many of them. There's always one that I haven't read. And here's my little June TBR overview with a very cute cup of tea and a nice little pink theme there as well. I I just cleaned out the fridge, but as you can see, it is fairly empty, save for a few bits and pieces and the pizza that I had last night. I gave it a good wipe down with my kitchen cleaner and also some lemon essential oils. And then I've made myself a shopping list and I'm gonna head over to Aldi. And I probably also need to go to Woolies as well because there are some things on this list that I cannot get at Aldi. I wanted to wrap up this video talking about our house build progress and lay some video over the top. So in January, we were on a pretty tight schedule to get all of our selections done. So this involved going to the Allworth display home and having a long sit down with one of the ladies there to make our selections. And we also had to go to a couple of other locations as well to sort out things like bathroom and electrical. We picked out all of our flooring, our wall color, all of our kitchen bits. So that was the super exciting part. And then from that point, they gave us all quotes for everything, whether things had cost us extra, they had. And then we needed to get our final pricing and get it all sorted with our mortgage broker. After that, after all the paperwork was done, the finance was sorted, it was pretty much a green light for them to start building. And they did start that in March, just before our wedding actually. They went in and dug out for the foundations, and they also did the slab then as well. And then after that, it was a pretty quick process to get up the frames, and I was able to go down and have a walk through the house with Dave and really be able to see and visualize the layout and the different feels of the rooms, how big or how small they were going to be. And at that point that I was down there with the frames, they'd also delivered the bricks. I don't currently have any footage of the brick stage, but right now as I'm filming this, they are bricking the house. It should almost be done, probably in this week. And then Dave and his mates are actually going to go down and put on the roof, I think maybe next weekend or the one after. So it won't be too long and the house will fully be at lockup. We were really hoping and praying for good weather, which it has been, to be able to get all of those sort of main starter jobs done, because if it was a lot of rain, that would delay the progress of bricks, frames, roofing, etc. But sort of once it's at lockup stage, all of our jobs will mostly be internal, and then the weather kind of doesn't matter. It just is a process of making sure that one tradie lines up with the next and we're able to sort of get them to roll into each other and get everything to happen on time. So they do say from start to finish in terms of building, it's about 6 to 8 months. So if it was 6 months, it would be maybe the end of September, but they are giving us the date of around the November mark. So a little bit later in the year. I definitely want to get in before Christmas, ideally like a bit before Christmas would be great, so that we have time to really make the house how we want it to be and get started on the landscaping. There is a lot of landscaping that needs to be done. Thank goodness Dave's pretty handy, so he'll be virtually doing most of that himself, and I'll be filming the whole process of us packing up this house. I'm going to do a major declutter and a deep clean of this house before we leave. Also an empty house tour, move in, styling, organization, landscaping, all of the things. So those things will be coming to you probably later in the year. Obviously we've got lots to do in terms of building in between now and then, but make sure that you stay tuned for that. With that being said, I'm going to wrap up this June reset routine here. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe down below. I put out a new video every single week. That being said, I hope you have a fantastic rest of your week and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye guys.